some people are born so rich, some people are born so poor. It's not that a rich is more fortunate. Sometimes a poor person may be much happier than a rich person. So a lot of people think that money can solve all the problems. Once you're rich, everything is sorted. Money can't buy love. Money can't buy happiness. Happiness, yes. Material, yes. But in where are you going to take this wealth once you go? Don't get attached to it. It's an illusion. That money is there, may not be there. So anything that is not permanent is transitory. Do success look success without family, without parents? Your parents, and especially your mother, is the only selfless love you'll ever receive. Every other love, also a transaction. When you look around, people mistreat their parents. What do you want to say to them? Service to parents is service to divine. I always missed that side. I didn't have enough years. So I was watching one of the videos of long back, lost your parents, and that time you're giving interviews. And I got goosebumps when I got to know how this child must have been so confused that he went to all the places to meet again to their families. Passing away was so sudden that I was not able to accept the departure. For a long time, it used to haunt me, the last word. Sometimes I just kept living in this thought of what was the end. Seeing that you took travel very raw. कोई ऐसी स्टोरी आपको लगी जो अभी तक कभी आपने किसी पुराने में सुनी बट वहाँ लोकली जाके सुनी? I went to a place called Vasuki Tal. Somebody in the group started doing some puja. So you won't believe it that from the middle of the lake came out a white snake. I say that's faith. That's the divine. The divine is showing you his presence. First of all, thank you for being part of Impact Stories. And we always run down to all the raw stories. And I've seen that you took travel very raw in the mountains where you don't go to places which go trending very soon and you don't run down to those places. You always, so that's how I came across to know about you, that you always try to find places which is not known to many. Well, thank you so much for coming. And the word impact sounds interesting, alluring. That caught my attention when you connected with me. Of course, I think the biggest thing which makes a lasting impact in your life is some sense of your own spirituality. Spirituality is not a definition or a thesis, it's your own experience. So for me, for you it's different, for me it's different. So for me, it's been a lot of things. It's very personal. Very personal. So for me, it's been a lot of my so-called spiritual journeys which has caught your eye. It's not the only part of me, but yes, it's a very important part of me. I believe that it's all their plans to people meet because of their plan. We are no one to yeah. So you're right. So basically, it's I'm sure you've gone to this topic of destiny and deeds. So it's like the plan of the divine is you get what is due to you. So if you get a thali of food, it's due to you. You're getting it, but then you also have to pick up the food and eat it. It's not going to go in by itself. So there is a karma in everything. So let's say you get an opportunity. Now, if I ask you that I'm going to this place, come with me to this journey. Maybe that's the divine way of telling it's your destiny. You can go there. But you may say, no, I have to go to London. I have to go to some party. I have to go to some event. You may not come. So that's your karma, right? So you have choices. And the whole purpose of human life, not idealistically, but is to make the right choices. There is two sides of you, which I saw on the Instagram. There's one is glitz and glamour, and the other one is very spiritual and very personal. Which is you exactly? So all is me. There's nothing which is not me. So you see Lord Krishna's life. It had everything. He had, when he was a child, he had play and games and naughtiness and lovely Ras Leela and Radha Krishna. And then he grew up and he became the queen, the Dwarka, the kingdom, the entire Mahabharat war. So what side is him? It's all. Everything is him. So we are one, right? These are just, what would I say, moods? They may be moods, they may be facets to personality. So let's say you are a businessman in the office. You're going to be a businessman. You have to act in a particular way. But when you're at home, if you're going to act in that way, then you'll probably, your family will probably make you sit in your room alone, because who's going to take a boardroom conversation or a boardroom decorum at home? So you become a family person. Now, if you go to a temple and you behave like a family person, just chill out and do whatever you want to do, then you're not respected at the temple. So which is you? All.
very interesting question for you. Har bade ya hari bade?
See, Hari, basically, what do we look at? What is the universal spirit? It's all inclusive. Is anything bigger than the universal spirit? No, because it's all in every iota of the creation. If we say Hari, Narayan, let's say he's the universal spirit. Let's for time being say it's him. Whatever you find as a universal spirit, you may say Shiva, you may say Hari, you may say Krishna, you may say any god, the Lord, hallowed be thy name, whatever. It's all inclusive, right? Because it's the source of everything, and everything manifests from there. So there's nothing like bigger and smaller. That's also perception. It's an interesting question you ask, but life of bigger and smaller, what is bigger and smaller of everything in life is only a perception, right? It's your perspective. So for me, it's all relative.
Don't you feel that sometimes it confuses how some people are born so rich, some people are born so poor? How this is happening? Why? Yes, you might be much better because you know the cycle of.
So do we believe that we start when we come into this world and at the end when we leave? There may be some people, but where do we come from? Okay, where do we go? There is something in you when we sleep at night. Where is this? Who's talking all this? Somewhere. You're not gone. So it's there. So that which is there in deep sleep is also there before you come into this world. It's also there after you leave. That's what we call Atma, Chitta, whatever. You can call it many things. Soul. Your soul has certain impressions from your last incarnations which it carries with you, right? Now the idea is not, of course, we're not saying that somebody there sitting to punish you for wrong deeds and right deeds, because even wrong and right has a perspective, right? It's individualistic. Many examples of that. The whole purpose of life is evolution. Evolution to get beyond your constrictions or restrictions, which make you realize your oneness with everything that exists. The universal spirit, as I said, is all inclusive. So are you a part of him? So am I a part of him or her? And so is everything that exists. Animate, inanimate, everything is him. Right? So we come as somebody, we may think rich and poor. It's not that the rich is more fortunate than the poor. Yes, common perspective, it is that way. And that's the way. But your mind is a mind, right? Sometimes even a poor person may be much happier than the rich person. Could be. So the purpose of life is to be given a state according to your samskaras, according to what you lived in your previous incarnations, so that whatever limitations you have, you get a chance in this life to free yourself from them, to liberate yourself, what we call liberation, right? So you live your life with those circumstances. They may be good, they may be bad, they may be pleasant, unpleasant, but you have to learn from every experience. And at every time you have to also distance yourself from the experience, because the experience is not you.
Yeah.
You are not the experience, right? So once you go into this philosophy, in simple words, it's the law of karma, and we are born in a particular place because that's our karma. And the purpose of life is to progress towards that divinity.
So a lot of people think that money can solve all the problems. Once you're rich, everything is sorted.
Can it?
I'm just asking
if you're
so it's a common perspective, right?
Money can't buy love, money can't buy happiness, right? Happiness, yes, material, yes. But a health, suppose you're on, God forbid, somebody is in the last stage of cancer and the doctors have pronounced that there's no hope. What are you going to do with all the wealth in the world?
Like Steve Jobs.
Exactly. And where are you going to take this wealth once you go, right? Yes, 100% money is important. Yes, I understand everybody should have ambitions and should make money. Enjoy it. Nobody said not to enjoy it and go into some Himalayan cave, because we are here for a purpose, right? The idea of money and enjoyment is don't get attached to it. The moment you start enjoying and get attached to it is where you're getting enveloped in what we say in Hinduism, Maya. Because it's an illusion, right? That money is there, may not be there. You are there, you may not be there. So anything that is not permanent is transitory.
किसी ने मुझसे एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल पूछा था कि कभी आपने सोचा है कि जब आप सोते हो आपको सपना आता है, आप उठते हो, वो कहाँ चला जाता है, फिर अगर वो चला जाता है तो आप जो हो क्या वो सपने में हो?
So there's a very interesting book. You will get the answers to that question called Yoga Vashishta. Yoga Vashishta is a dialogue between Lord Ram and Vashishta Muni. So Lord Ram went through the same despondency like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. So very shortly the story goes that he went to see his kingdom when he was a teenager, and he again he's saying there's so much sadness, there's so much misery. What we're talking about, wealth, kingdom, but there's so much misery around, there's so much sadness, what's the point? That's the thought which came to Lord Ram. So he went into his chamber and he got into like what we call a negative state of mind, depression, whatever you may call that state of mind. He's Lord Ram, so it can't be depression, where he went into solitude. So Vashishta Muni it's a 680-page book, like so thick. It's called a Yoga Vashishta. So it gives you all these factualities. Is the dream real or is the waking state real? Okay. It also tells you whether time and space are real or is it relative. Can you coexist? There are a lot of theories. You must have seen there's a lot of Hollywood film made on this, that time and space are also relative, right? You can coexist in different spheres, in different multi-universes.
Yeah.
So Yoga Vashishta says just that. The whole thing is your mind. The whole creation is your mind. The whole creation is your thought. Once your thoughts and desire disappear, then the dream is as real as the reality, and the reality is as unreal as a dream.
Do success look success without family, without parents?
Does success become successful without these things? So to a hermit who's, let's say, Guru Adi Shankaracharya, I'm sure you've studied his evolution.
Yeah.
So he passed away at the age of 32.
So I want to know my questions through you. All my questions I'm asking through you.
Yeah. So I agree. So the point is, he had a mother, but his bliss was in what he did, right? He wrote the Brahma Sutras. Of course, a lot of things on Adi Shankaracharya. We're not going to go into the history of that. But bliss or happiness is again up to you. For somebody, it may be family. I love my family. I love a family life. But there's also another side, which will enjoy your, what we call solitude, vairagya, dispassion. So if I go and sit in a Himalayan cave, I don't want my family there. I want to enjoy the peace and solitude. So some people want it for eternity. That's why they go. They go and join an ashram. They take sannyas. You interview so many gurus, preachers. Why are they there? They could have had a family. They choose not to. Now, it's not that living in a family you cannot achieve liberation or progression in your spirituality. Because they say, in fact, Grahastha ashram, which is family life, is the biggest test. Because you can't go into solitude where you're just going and meditating. You have to be here and deal with all your day-to-day issues and still have a sense of being dispassionate, like an observer. So your problems are not identified with you, they are observed by something within, which is beyond. So first time I read the Yoga Vashishta was like maybe 15...
But I'm surprised you have read these things.
I've read it again and again. 15 years back, I read the Yoga Vashishta. It's that thick. And I'm not a good reader, I have to admit. I only read spiritual books now because I can't read too much. I used to read like business journals and all. Now I just read spiritual books. So Yoga Vashishta, every time you read it, you get a new meaning. So I've read it like maybe 5 times from the last 15 years. But the point is that there are very few people who will take an interest in that kind of a book, because it's not, Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful scripture and the highest philosophy, but it also applies to your life, how to lead your life. Yoga Vashishta is basically talking about the knowledge of the beyond.
Beyond. No,
yeah, it's the science of creation, why you're here, thoughts. There are a lot of stories. It demonstrates through stories. But it's not like black and white instruction, this is how you lead your life. Because according to them, every thought is the cause of where the whole creation. So you change the way you think, and your world will change.
So I like to reframe my question. So I was asking, do success look success without parents? Because you lost your parents, I got to know. Do success look success? Everybody say, we got rich, we got money. But there's a void always, which you can't fill.
So parents' void is you cannot fill with anything in the world, because your parents, and especially your mother, is the only selfless love you'll ever receive. Every other love, I'm not saying every other love, but a lot of love is also transaction.
Unconditional love.
So a lot of relationships, you're going out with somebody in college, okay, your girlfriend's doing this for you, then you do this for her. She's loving you, so you love her. Okay. That's transactional. It's based on what she does. A mother's love and a father's love, to a lot of extent, is unconditional, because what they only see is the well-being of the child, of the son or the daughter, and the happiness of that child. They don't think anything of their self-interest. There are parents who superimpose their self-interest on the children, but the pure nature of a parent is that. So without parents, half your world is gone, because you have, it's like an umbrella in the rain. You know the rain is not going to reach you. So everything that happens to you in life, that insulation's gone without parents, because there's nobody else to be there to just be above.
When you look around, people mistreat their parents. What do you want to say to them?
I think it's. I mean, I'm again not talking about sin and what is sin and what is not sin. I think it's a very horrible, unhuman act, because for somebody who's got you into this world and given you life itself, of course, people may have the thing, the parents didn't do this, parents do that. That doesn't matter. Your duty as a son or a daughter is that somebody who's brought you into this world, who is responsible for the very life you exist in. Whatever you can do at any time is service to parents, is service to divine. If you don't serve your parents, and if you don't love your parents the way you should, then I think atheism is also a concept. There's very little dissimilarity between you and an atheist, because how can you disbelieve the respect a parent deserves? You cannot. I completely disagree with this. And coming from you, the question. So if I always missed that side. I didn't have enough years to really give love back, serve, look after. And since I believe that life is eternal, doesn't end with the body, in my own way, even today, I keep giving back through love, deeds, whatever.
So this is the one part of the person one can do to obviously जो eternal side है उसको explore करने. But the thing is, the personal life है तो हम इसी धरती पे. We need that love, that comfort, which is not there. So I think we can do anything to make them happy. But once they are gone, they are gone.
100%. There's no doubt. The vacuum is never filled. The void never goes. The emotions never go. People say with time you heal. Yes, you heal. I'm not saying you don't heal. You're not hurting. But what you felt, the intensity when your parents went passed on, if you remember that time, you'll feel that same degree of intensity today. If you just shut your eyes and relive it. Because that never changes. What changes is that instead of grieving and crying, you just remember it with more thoughtfulness, love, understanding, and missing. Yes.
You look very emotional person. Do you get emotional quickly? What brings tears to your eyes?
Parents, memory of my parents, my sister. Somebody being very compassionate to me. Somebody being very loving to me. My daughter, anything to do with her. Anything that may pain her, worry her. Or just being touched by joy for somebody who you love, care for. I can, it's like a continuous.
किसी ने मुझे बोला था कि जिस दिन आप फादर बनते हुए ना, या once you complete your family, then you understand how much your father would have loved you.
Yeah, sure. I agree. So when we are teens and we grow up as teens, there's so many other things we have. Hormones are different. A lot of things going on in your head. You don't understand. A lot of things you rebel against, a lot of things you don't agree. And later on you realize, oh, I understand now. That's why I tell all children, sometimes you just can't, you're not programmed to understand, but you have to try. Think of your life 10 years later. Let's say a teenager, 28, 19. Just imagine at 29, I'm sitting, I may be married, my parents are in their own house. Maybe they are not well, maybe they are ailing. What would be my state of mind? Okay? And think of that state of mind, and whatever you would do as love and affection that time, do it now. Don't not lead your life. Nobody's telling you not to lead your life. What you have to do, you have to do. But it can be done in a sensitive way.
I want to understand, you could have settled in somewhere else, in the US, in the London. Why you choose to be here?
Oh, I love India. I love India.
Why coming back to the roots?
My DNA is very Indian.
Because a lot of people who think, okay, I go to abroad, I'm going to say, yeah.
So I prefer Indian places much more. Like actually throughout my teenage years, I used to not go abroad so much. I used to go to religious places in India. So for me, spirituality and religion is a very strong part of my DNA. So if somebody told me that you go and you can't ever visit the Himalayas again, I'll be distraught. Because for me, it's just like every time something kind of gets foggy in your mind, I just think of the Himalayas and I feel it's like a smile. So I love India. I don't think I'll ever be able to live out of this country. I love going out, traveling. Not so much as a pleasure to see places, but places which I've got sentiments, emotional attachments to, which I like. I'm not a type of person who will just like to go and see new places around the world. I'd rather go and see new spiritual places. So I've got a whole list and agenda. You just give me one more. Himachal Pradesh. So that list goes on and on, because something happens when somebody mentions a spiritual place of significance. It becomes like, she's not really going to become unsettled. I want to go there. I keep thinking whenever I keep going there.
And I want you to be there.
Huh?
I want you to go there.
I know. I will. And again, the mountains and spiritual places, those two together is like a different world for me.
So I was watching one of the videos of long back. I think there was old podcast of yours. That time you were a very naive boy, when you lost your parents, and that time you were giving interviews. I'm forgetting the name of the lady.
So I know it's a TV interview.
Yeah.
Those days, no podcasts.
Yeah. So, and I got goosebumps when I got to know how this child must have been so confused that he went to all the places to wanted to meet again to their families, and you went to odd places also.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I spoke about it in the interview, and subsequently, basically, spirituality teaches you that the person is here.
I got goosebumps that time.
Yeah, so you have to believe that they're here. But sometimes we are human. We still miss the physical presence.
How confused you were with that time? I was thinking about that.
I was not confused. I just wanted validation of my beliefs.
Okay.
So I believe that they're here, but I wanted to see it in black and white, because the passing away was so sudden that I was not able to accept the departure. Right? Suddenly, one morning you get up and they're not there. So accepting that is a traumatic thought. Now my spirituality helped me, because again
I've gone through the same, so I understand.
You lost.
No, she met with an accident, but she's no more like the before she used to be. She's on the bed. So I understand what you're trying to say. You always need one, what do you call? A last good, what do you call it?
Last good memory of conversation.
Yes.
So you're right. So my last conversation with my family who passed away, I remember the exact tone and the voice and the name, and it's, for a long time, it used to haunt me, the last words. And then you always wonder what happened in the last moments. See, those are thoughts which actually are not healthy, right? And you have to rise above them. But they're human. They come. They came a lot. So when my parents passed in a plane crash, I was obsessed with the last moment. So I kept searching for somebody who was on that plane to tell me something about what they saw, what they spoke, or what all happened. And then there was there was a newspaper report. There was India Today carrying a coverage on it and what happened in the plane. And it's devastating to know. And then you keep living the pain, which you imagine. It's imagination. We don't know what happened. So it goes into a lot of negativity. And now looking back at it, I didn't do the right thing by reliving so much of what had gone. But since you love people and you want to
Everything is fair in love, I think. I agree.
You want to know the pain, you want to feel the pain. It's a little abstract. That's what it is, right? So it's okay at that time, but I won't advise anybody to go through it because very, very troublesome. It took a lot. Yeah, it was very troublesome. Why? But because I for some time just kept living in this thought of not why, what was the end?
Okay, correct.
Did it's like things like a family you love, did they try and jump off the plane? Did somebody survive? Were they in pain? These kind of things, human things, which death is death. It doesn't really matter. But just since it's so sudden, it becomes a loop. And you have to get out of the loop. And trust me again, I always say this, the only way to get out of all these loops in life is your spirituality, your meditation. At that time, I was probably not so regular, so it got into it was faith and knowledge, but there was not so much practice. It went into a loop.
Whom do you went to see during that time? There was some lady you show.
Yeah, that was like, it's basically you call them mediums, right? So they help you connect. They have a frequency.
Is it for real? I've heard.
I saw it. I saw it. And I actually am in that area. I was agnostic. I didn't know whether to believe or not believe, but I was searching. I tried a lot.
I've heard many stories, but I don't.
Yes, so
I've not seen it.
I failed in a lot of stories. I tried for 1 year. I couldn't connect with anybody. But with this lady, watched whatever I saw, which is on that interview, there's no doubt that she was connecting, and it was real. And as I said, after that one incident, I never tried again. That was it. That was closure.
Then we can say the soul travels.
Soul could have traveled anywhere at that time. Now somebody will say, if they're reborn, how will they talk to you? You can't get into...
So again, that's what my question was. Yeah.
So again, we talked about multi-dimensional existences. Now again, we're going to a very abstract topic people don't understand.
I understand this thing. Don't worry about it.
If it's multi-dimensional existences, why are we trying to determine where's that soul? It could be here. It could be in some other realm. It could be in some other incarnation planet. We don't know. I don't know. The theory of karma, reincarnation, this is... it's difficult to explain in words. And sometimes best not trying to comprehend and just having faith that they're there.
Why you travel so raw and real places?
So that's interesting, and I keep telling people. So I love going to temples. There's a lot of very powerful temples we have in our country, and the temple, the deity emanates vibrations. I have this. A lot of people question idols. I said, even if you're questioning the idol, you don't understand the energy that is there, because so many people who pray to an idol, when you go there, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you are going to get that energy back. The blessing is coming. Now, it could be a personification of that deity. It could be a universal energy, but it's coming back to you, right? Now, what happens if you are going into a meditative state, right? Or you want to go into tranquility? Sometimes the temples don't give you the tranquility because there's a lot of activity going around. So for me, when I like to go into, I love solace, solitude, tranquility, silence, Himalayas. So then I start reading our scriptures, and I don't go just for trekking essay, going somewhere in the mountain. I do research about Puranas. Where are the stories leading you to? Where are those places identified in the modern era? So I try to go there because there's no habitation. There is no village. There's no shop. There's no pandit. There's nothing. It's just you and the divine. And of course, whoever's with you to help you make tents and sleep there. But there also I go separately and I do my own sadhana meditation there.
कोई ऐसी स्टोरी आपको लगी जो अभी तक कभी आपने किसी पुराने में सुनी बट वहाँ लोकली जाके सुनी? Because local stories are different.
So there are such beautiful stories
Any
locally.
story you
There are
can-
experiences.
Any story you can share you have come across?
No. So I went to a place called Vasuki Tal, okay, which is above Kedarnath. So they say Vasuki Nag resides there. And when I went there, it was evening. It was like you couldn't see the lake. It was covered with clouds. And then somebody said, these areas they talk as if this is real. In Bombay, they'll say, what is all this? These are Gandharvas, Devas, they come in the evening in these beautiful places to whatever, meditate, pray, divine love, sing, dance, whatever. So they said, this is this, and they'll go away. So in 5 minutes, it went away. There was no clouds. Then somebody in the group started doing some puja, like mantras. Something to do with Vishnu, Vasuki. Vasuki is also part of Shiv. So you won't believe it that, unfortunately, we didn't have phones that time. So we took a video. I've lost the video. I wish I had it. I kept trying to find it. From the middle of the lake came out a white snake. Now, this is not an imagination, because he came out like this and he kept dancing. Now, this is freezing. It's like 13,000 feet above sea level and it's freezing cold. The water's ice. And the snake has come out and he's doing this twirling dance. And we are going to a place which is called Vasuki Tal, which belongs to Vasuki Nag. Now, somebody will say that whatever. But I say that's faith. That's the divine. The divine is showing you his presence. Right? So, multiple feelings you get in the Himalayas, sometimes not in words, sometimes not in black and white, sometimes just in yourself, which you carry back. So why you go there? You ask me this question. So when I go to these places, it's not just the visit. It's some vibration from there.
It's an exchange, you can say.
I get it back home. So if I sit now and close my eyes and I think of this amazing place, which I found one of the best experiences called Satopant, which is basically, it's the path of where the Pandavas ascended to heaven as per our scriptures. So there is a lake over there, triangular shaped lake, said to be signifying Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And on Ekadashi, in a form, if you can understand that frequency, they're supposed to be there. So if you meditate there on Ekadashi, it's supposed to elevate your spirit because that's the presence of those divine energies. Anyway, why it's called Satopant is beyond that, there's no duality. So all the Pandavas, before this lake, passed on. They dropped. We know all of them dropped. Before they ascended, only Yudhishthir ascended to heaven. And then he was tested by Dharma and all that story. So only he went beyond Satopant. Why? Because anybody who's in a dual state of mind, me and you, that and this, can't go beyond that. It's only when you're, it's a part of Advaita philosophy, that when you are one with the entire creation, there is no you and me, it's just that. Then you go beyond that. That's what's called Satopan, the truth. When you go there, I tried to go beyond that because there's a Chandra Kund, Surya Kund, like avalanches came and there was snowstorms and we had to go back. But I sat there for a while and it was actually like liberation. So there are sometimes you feel in these places and you should imagine that suppose from tomorrow you don't live. Are you okay with that? Then suddenly you'll start thinking, oh, my family, my responsibilities, people you love, what have I got left? What do I want to do? So nobody's prepared. But when you're in these places, you get that sense and feeling. Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? I'm not there tomorrow. Something will take care of everything that I've left. And something will take care of me and I don't care.
Have you been to Kailash?
Yes.
Why nobody able to capture? See, every mountaineer went to the top
Nobody went there.
Nobody went there.
Milurippa, some
There was
Tibetan.
someone Russian.
No Russian climber.
I
He was a
forget.
Tibetan monk who through meditation
sorry.
went up.
Yeah, he's the only one.
And he said that he gave something that he gave some like astonishing
he's
version.
the only monk.
Who reached up there.
And there's one more, I think, mountain by his name there.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong.
That's and nobody's been able to
So he's
climb.
a monk. No, I'm not talking about it. Nobody after him could
Nobody
climb.
is able to climb. Nobody.
Why do you think
So
they cannot?
Kailash, besides saying there's a
What's
board
your
of-
understanding is?
besides being the abode of Lord Shiva, it's supposed to be center of the universe. It's supposed to be where the entire creation, the cosmos is created. There's a very strong magnetic field there, which just elevates you, right? That's why not only Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, everybody's there. It's Shiva.
That's why we see. That's why few things are very magical. You can't even explain.
Yeah, you can't. So Shiva, of course, he's in every iota of the creation, but it's his energy center there. You are not going to be able to reach there. It's not, according to me, it's not.
You know, even when it went to the I think the Chinese territory, it went to So even China tried to see the experiment.
Yeah, and
nobody
they are
could. Then they banned. They said nobody can go there.
You can't go because it's not possible. Kailash it's too powerful. I did the parikrama. I took three days.
Oh my God, you have been there. It was one of my. How was the feeling?
I'm getting goose flesh.
Yeah, I really want to know.
It's like that. You think about it, you'll get goose flesh. It is just amazing. So there's only one point, which is the highest point, 18,000 feet, where they say Parvati Ma used to come and have a bath, which is only really difficult part of the trek. The rest of the trek is not as difficult except for the lack of oxygen. Yeah. There also I had an incident in the night. So I got up. Now they're pretty good now. I've gone like 15 years ago. Not even 15, maybe 18 years ago.
18 years old?
Yeah, so there was no habitation. There was nothing. Now apparently a lot of nice places to stay. So in the night, I was staying in some dilapidated, like a shed. And I want to go to the toilet. Now, where are you going to go to the toilet? Let's just go out. So I went and stood out. This is now, it's called Dolmala Pass, that pass which is 18,000 feet. So where I was staying that night was at the foot of that Dolmala Pass. Now Dolmala Pass is like this. It's very difficult to climb. Even in the day you have to watch here there. Now in this night, I'm at the camp right here and I go for the lure and I see these, it's an estimation. So they were like 9 feet tall. These 4 men in black robes with ghantis. Yeah, they were going towards climbing Dolmala Pass. So now, what kind of humans they were, superhumans, what they were, I have no idea. But I've seen this and there's nothing. Kailash in the night is like freezing. There's no habitation. There's no oxygen. And they're 9 feet tall in black robes in the middle of the night with some ghantis or whatever they were doing, dang, dang, dang. And they're climbing up this ascent. So there are like a lot of these beyond the material world things that go on there. Now, who all are there, what form they are in, we don't.
Beautiful experiences. So have you read this Garud Puran also? What is the... So I want to understand what is the deeper meaning in that.
So the Garud Puran I read, I'll tell you, in our scriptures it says that when somebody passes away, you should read the Garud Puran. You have to have the Pandit do the part or whatever. Now, I was very attached to my grandmother. So I was 18 when she passed away. And I was very, very attached and I couldn't take her passing away well at all. And I wanted to do everything scriptural. So I myself read the Garud Puran in Hindi, not in Sanskrit. So for 7 days, you're supposed to finish in 7 or 12 days, I forget. I read whatever there is to read because they say that your soul, your spirit, means she for me at that time, is around in the house before it goes on. 12th day onwards, they move on to their next.
13 days, 12 days.
Yeah,
yes,
they move on. So they're listening. So when you're talking, they're listening to you. So that's why I used to read aloud. And I think my grandmother, what I'm supposed to do when she's supposed to hear, she's listening. So it basically describes to you your process of after death from the first day after you leave the body. What happens, what you feel, what you experience. The second day, how earth, water, fire, either space, all whatever. They have a whole process. So Garud Puran basically tells you the science of death. After death, what happens?
And what was that?
So it's this, that for each day, how you first feel surprised, you go through this. You've read, I'm sure, books where you go through a
But
tunnel
still,
and you see a light and it's like whatever. Then you're confused. You look at your body and you think, I'm here. Why is everyone crying for me? Don't cry. That's why they say don't cry when somebody goes away, because that person's here. He's feeling sad that he can't tell you stop crying. All this is there in the Garud Puran. Then you experience. So that's interesting. It's given very pictorially explained, but our karmas are experienced after death in those 12 days. So suppose let's assume you've killed someone, right? In those 12 days, that person will actually experience himself being slaughtered, killed, tortured. So your karmas are experienced by that spirit at that time. When you go through that, it's not, again, time is relative. It's not that you've killed somebody and taken somebody's life, so but one day you experience that torture and it's liberation. No, you're going to get your karmas due, but you experience the intensity of it even then. So, whatever deeds you've done, it'll come back. Then there's this interesting, I keep using it even now, it's written Vaitarni Nadi. Okay, that's one of the very important things in Garud Puran. Vaitarni Nadi is where you basically, according to that, you get punished for your sins. So you go to Vaitarni Nadi, all the animals you have kind of killed or, I don't know, eaten, they'll come and eat you up and all that thing is there. You may believe it, you may not believe it, but the essence is, I do believe it, of course, essence is that your mind will experience all your deeds, your soul, which is leaving. Whatever you've done has to come back. So like a dream. In a dream, we experience it, no? We experience all this sometime. We're being killed, we're dying, this, that, whatever. So you will experience it again there. And then they say in the Vaitani, that soul says, please forgive me, I did a wrong thing. I want to be liberated. But then your karmas have to come, your reactions have to come. So they tell you that think of this. Vaitarni Nadi. So do the right deeds.
Why people say Ram Nam Satya before when they body's taken back?
So Ram Nam. So Ram, basically Ramayana, if you read, Lord Ram is itself, the name Ram encompasses the entire creation, right? Also the resonance of the word Ram is also, you've heard of Kundalini chakras. So it's all in the main chakras, in the fire chakra. So Ram, when you keep saying it, you're basically getting the creation into you and you merging with the creation. So when you're leaving the body, what else is truth? That. Ram Nam Satya. What else is there? What else is truth beyond that? Not your wealth, not your checkbook, not your family. Bye-bye. So Ram Nam.
See, in your life, first you achieve wealth, then you achieve success, all the things hand in hand goes. But what is the bigger purpose in life? When you actually understand there's a bigger purpose behind everything.
So everybody has a bigger purpose. What have you given? You don't have to give. It's not like you give, of course, you say you give to society, you give to the world, you give charity. Yes, all great. If you have the ability to do so. If you don't have the ability to do so, what have you given in your day-to-day life, right? With the people who are around you. So let's say you're staying in a hut. You can't give to society. You don't have the capability. That man will say, what do I do? Give love to the people next to you. So everybody can give, and that's what remains. Taking and preserving is not going to go with you. What you give is going to go with you. And that Vaitarni Nadi will again, the reward will come to you, which will be a different reward, and the punishment will come to you with Vaitarni Nadi.
So, I asked this very interesting question in the afternoon also. There was an artist I'll ask you the same question from your. So, I used to know a lot of people in the city, a lot of influential people in the city. And I used to think, okay, someday if I fell into trouble, I'm just going to rank them and everything will be sorted. Yeah. The day my mother met with an accident, I was not even able to call them. My hand was shaking. So what's the use of power which you think that this will come on time, it's all his he can make you helpless any day.
You can make you helpless. Of course, what happened to your hand, the person you called may not be able to do anything.
We think that everything will work out someday. Yes.
Very right.
Hope you
And
got my point.
You have got your point. So we think we're doing a lot of things. We are doing a lot of things in our mind. Actually, a lot of it is being planned and it's predestined. There is, as I told you, eating that food is in your hands.
Sorry to cut you. I was standing next to her and she was all bleeding and I was trying to help her. My hand was shaking, not even able to call. The moment I was thinking how helpless I am, no matter I know all the top shot in the country.
Yeah. So that's destiny. You can't fight destiny.
Then I feel the bigger purpose is don't think that something goes to your head and you or something.
No, so you have to bow to him. And the biggest enemy is ego. The purpose of every life is to dissolve your ego. Then only you feel one with the creation, which is the most difficult. If ego doesn't happen, we don't exist. If ego doesn't exist, we don't exist. So there is subtle ego going to remain. But you have to try and transcend it, no? Because ego that's Maya. I did this, I made this, I'm so good. Even me, like now I'm talking to you. I'll say, oh wow, look at the gyan I'm giving him. I'm so knowledgeable.
Again, the ego comes in.
Unless you think you're an instrument of the divine. I'm giving this knowledge, but he's inspiring me. He's speaking through me. I'm just an instrument. So you have ways of dealing with the ego. For that, they say you have to do sadhana, meditation, seva, help anybody, and satsang, which is like what we are doing. What we are doing is satsang. We don't have to have 15 people. We are talking about things which are beyond the mundane, beyond the material. That's satsang. It could be between 2, it could be 50, it could be chanting, it could be singing, it could be anything.
Let's talk the other side of the story. See, sometimes now, if you see these days, if you go to any pilgrimage, now everything is very commercial, right? And people who are sitting there also like paychecks. If you don't pay them, you'll get nothing in return. They will make you think like that you will not even get the blessing from the divine. So what do you want to say to those people? Because even at the top shot places, things are going this way.
So see, I agree with you. Sometimes seems unfair. But let's say the Prime Minister of the country, and he's got so many things to do. Every minute matters. So he has to be treated like a VIP and he has to get special darshan. So that's the top. But relativity is also there. For a lot of people, time is service. He's serving the country. A lot of people are doing...
My question is, see why... Even the temples, ना, अगर कोई वहाँ जाता है, तो वहाँ पे भी अब ऐसा हो गया कि सब commercial हो गया.
That is fair enough.
Commercial means they will tell you that okay, if you not put the money here, you'll not get the blessing from the divine. I'm not talking about the VIP thing.
You're not talking about VIP darshan. You're talking about the temple pandits and all being commercial. So have you read the Bhagavad Puran?
Yes.
Okay. So Bhagavad Puran talks about yugas, right? Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug. This is all predicted.
उन्होंने भी तो पढ़ा है जो वहाँ बैठे हैं. See, वो पंडित ही तो है.
पर उनका mind, they don't believe, or they're not concerned, or they care a damn, or they care more about the wealth, or they care more about giving them wealth to the family. In their mind, they're doing nothing wrong. मैं तो praise or worship में, I'm looking after my family. See, one other thing is that we are nobody to judge, right? Don't participate in anything which is against your conscience. We are nobody to judge. वो ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है करने दो. हमको देना देंगे, नहीं देना नहीं देंगे, right? ये ऐसा है, पाखंडी है, गलत है. Why? What is it affecting us? We don't know what his situation is. Maybe he's got a situation which we don't understand. Maybe he's got a wife who's dying at home, right? So the worst thing is to judge. But all this, that doesn't make them right. All this is all written in the scriptures that this will all happen. And what you're seeing is just tiny bit of it. It's all going to happen. It's time cycle. What do we have to do? So they say in Kali Yuga, the environment's only negative. So what do? The people who do little good will be multiplied to 100 because you are fighting against the environment. So what I just told you, If you're going to a temple and you're saying, oh, look at this dirt, anybody, the commercial, oh, too much noise, look at all that, I don't want to go to, then you're succumbing. You look at the deity, you look at that energy, you connect with him and forget the rest. That's evolution. You'll get your blessings. Go to the Kumbh Mela, okay? Kumbh Mela, crores of people, dust and dirt, where people come. Look at the faith, okay? We think look at the faith of the people in little villages. They carry their belongings on their back. Some people, some sons carry old mothers. I've seen carrying them and getting them to Kumbh, walking, start sitting, getting just for that 1 second dip. No, 1 second, 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, whatever. They go. But they've come. So, aren't they worth admiring? I think they are. So, judgments are of no value. You just do what you have to do.
See, in every stage of our life, see, आज से 10 साल पहले जो मेरे लिए गलत होगा, क्या पता आज जो मेरे लिए सही हो. Every year you changes as a human being. You evolve as a human being. Your brain evolved. Your thinking evolved. You have come this far in your life. What is your deeper understanding about life?
So my deeper understanding is all exactly what we've been talking, but it's not knowledge anymore. It is experiencing it. So I experience this more and more with every passing year, and my belief becomes stronger. The skepticism or the human side becomes lesser. And with that, your peace, tranquility, the ability to handle adversities, negativity, judgmentalism, they go, I'm not saying they're absent, but they start diminishing. See, it's you have to climb the first floor. You have to climb 12 steps. So you may not climb all the 12 steps in one go. You climb one step at a time now. But if you climb 5 from where you were 0, you still made it up halfway. So give a pat to yourself on your back and say, I've done well. Now let me think about how to climb the next 7 steps. Yes. So it's a thing of evolving. You can't be idealistic. A lot of human sides, negative sides, we all have. We know what the ideal situation is. We are talking. What is ideal? As we talk about Garud, Puran, Yoga, Vashita, we know what ideal is. Can we live it? No. But what are we doing? At least we can progress towards it every day.
But why you thought of going to Kumbh?
I've been going every Kumbh.
But you going to everything.
It's like a religion for me. So since 20 years, I've been going for every Kumbh. I go for Nasik, Ujjain, Haridwar, Allahabad, 4 Kumbhs. This Ardha Kumbh, Purna Kumbh. I just go for
now
every
my question arises. See, you must in your business places, you must have met a lot of people who always crave about money. So how when you see them, what kind of conversation you fell into?
So when I was growing up, parents were there, and it was like everybody. It was all very business empires, affluent
you always been
people,
doing business families,
high society, all that. Probably at that time you feel that you want to not merge with this thought process. And I did. I was always a little probably different from what I saw. With time, again, even that doesn't matter. You're talking on money, you're talking about power, I'm talking about it to you. Fine. Am I becoming like you? No. And are you bad or good? I don't know. It's not my purpose. What ticks you do. I'm going to do what ticks me. What makes me a more contented, happiness is also relative, more blissful person. I will do that.
Second last question. Okay. So we talk about education system in India. Wherever you go abroad, you study here, it works, might be well for your job and everything. But what is the real knowledge?
So again, Bhagavad Gita says the only knowledge you carry from this life to the next. So Arjuna asked Krishna, I'm not giving a discourse, but you must be answering your question, that, you are saying all this, let's go into this spiritual love, devotion, surrender. Now I'll go. Now, what if I don't reach my destination in this life? What if my earthly sides comes in the middle? Then what? I've neither lived the earthly life of enjoyment, neither have I reached there. So he says, this is the only knowledge of progression which goes beyond death. The only knowledge you'll take beyond death is spiritual, religious, whatever knowledge, right? Every other knowledge we learn is gone. Whether you're a mathematician, whether you're a biologist, whether you're a businessman, whether you're a finance czar, it's gone. You need it for this life and do the best you can. Not that that knowledge is bad, because it all helps progress your brain to live your life the best. But it's gone at the end of your life. But that knowledge carries on. That's where we talk why some person born somewhere and some another somewhere, because of their spiritual journey in the last, which carries on. It can't stop. It'll keep going on. Right? So the knowledge you learn at school is important. But with that, the spiritual, in our Gurukuls, we used to have spiritual knowledge. They used to study the Vedas, the scriptures, everything, Upanishads. Now they don't study. So they are doing the knowledge of the world, but they are missing out on the knowledge of the world and beyond. So interestingly, we have schools in our group. So
we
have schools. We have schools.
These kind of schools, the Gurukuls you call it.
No, I don't know. I'll tell you what. So I have a schools called Birla Open Mind, right? Across the country, about 150 of them. Now, what I did, I told them, there was a whole teaching faculty, curriculum development faculty. I said, I want you to develop a spiritual subject, right? I can't make it religious because it's for every community, it's for every child. So let's call it soul science. Let's not call it. We'll pick up bits of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, whatever, but it should be about the soul. So it's called soul science. And I said, every child will have to take the subject compulsorily. It's not optional. And you will be graded. Because if you don't grade the child, they take it for granted. So they study, they learn, and they give the exam of soul science like they give a biology. Yeah. So I have introduced this for this very reason, that at least know your spiritual side or your moral side. So many children nowadays are going into so many wrong habits out from school and college, and they are suffering, the parents are suffering, because from childhood they're not understanding the essence of human life, human birth, the gift that you have. That you've been, they say, 82 lakh yoni ke baad aapko human birth mila. They don't know. Nobody understands all this. But it's science. The Darwin's theory of evolution, also similar. You're evolving from different species to a human being.
People know about Coldplay but don't know about Mahakumbh.
Nobody understands. Now they know about Mahakumbh because they're going to Instagram. Now I see a lot of people, they're all going to Mahakumbh because it's trendy, which is good. Even if it is going for trendiness, go Baba. You will get the divine blessings. So, but when I went 20 years back, nobody was saying, where are you going? What is this Kumbh? What is happening over there? I said, please read what is the Kumbh. So all in the churning of the ocean, the nectar and all that. I've been reading it from childhood. I read I read all the Amar Chitra Kathas. All this was in that. And then, of course, my grandmother used to tell me a lot of stories and this and that. So I knew everything what the science of Mahakumbh was. But besides the religious part, there's a science to it. So as you know now, the Jupiter and the alignment of the planets, which helps elevate your mind, gives you calm and peace, makes you think clearer. That way, your thinking becoming clear, it solves a lot of things, problems in your head, so that you can progress in things in life, whether it's your work, whether it's your relationship. With that clarity, when your planets are aligned, you go there in the Kumbh and you absorb that energy and you believe in that energy, your life will progress to whatever extent you let it progress.
Last question, do you eat non-veg?
Not at all.
Never ever?
Not at all. So, sounding very opinionated about it. See, I'll tell you why. First of all, this is a vegetarian house. So non-veg never come in this house.
Everyone in the family is...
my wife has grown up as a non-veg, but she gave it up for 20 years because I insisted that you cannot have non-veg till my children are growing up. So, because our parents were non-vegetarian, but otherwise we are all non-veg. We are all vegetarian, sorry. And the thing is that my great-grandfather who built this house said non-veg will not enter from the gate ever. So, this gate has never allowed, even servants and all, there was a separate area. Dogs also, I made them all vegetarian because I can't entertain all this. Otherwise, dogs also won't come. So, all my dogs, I have 8 dogs, big, Great Dane and all. Pit Bull. So, he's also vegetarian. My children are staunch vegetarians, all 3 of them. And non-veg never enters this house. Because now, It may sound a little judgmental. I'm not imposing my views, but there are two ways of it. One is cruelty to animals. A lot of people appreciate. So if you can't see a dog being killed, or you're feeling sad about your dog dying, then how are you eating
Yes,
a goat?
And what's the point? Yes.
What's the point? That goat also has the same energy like your dog. No, if you keep a goat as a pet, he will also love you. So I can't understand this logic. People cry over the dog. They say dogs, this, that, and then they go and eat non-veg. So I find that a dichotomy of your emotions. Cruelty to animals. We've not created an animal. What right do we have to take its life? Have we created that? No. Third, now there's some people's plants also you're killing. True, you are. But there is in the Bhagavad Gita something called Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Okay, so what is Sattvic? Qualities of generosity, compassion, love, everything positive. What is Rajasic? Ambition, vigor, aggression. That's all Rajasic. Like kings used to need Rajas because they had to fight wars. That's Rajasic. So you have, and then it's Tamasic. Tamasic is lethargy, negativity, hatred, jealousy, pride. Now what our mind is made up of cells. The cells are alive with the food you eat. Now you are yourself because of sanskara, not because of the food you eat. But the food you eat can enhance the goodness, sattvic food, which is pure food, plants, pure vegetables, fruits, whatever, grains, whole grains, what we call today health food, good for your body, good for everything. Or you can have a lot of chilies, masalas, which is not good for your stomach and your gut. Everybody's saying the same thing. You open Instagram, same thing. That's Rajasic. Or you can have Tamasic, which is killing an animal, letting it rot, putting it in the fridge and putting it down. Or alcohols, fermented things, intoxicating, put it down. Or not only that, even vegetarian food. Suppose I keep a roti, sadao it, and after 3 days I eat it. That's tamasic, right? So why should I eat tamasic food? Because it's only going to give me tamasic instincts. Tamasic instincts will again give me only negative thoughts, and negative thoughts will result in negative action. Negative action will get me negative reactions. So I'm stopping the cycles and not having it. But that's personal. Each to their own. I'll tell you again, it's to each to their own. With life, you learn, again, I told you, no, don't judge. Okay, the worst thing is judge, because then again you're saying good, bad, you're not good. That's the worst thing. Because you're also a human being, whether you're eating non-veg or not, you're a same manifestation of the divine. So I love you irrespectively. Okay. So early on in life, when a lot of times you grow up in culture of vegetarian, you start judging. You start sermonizing. I sermonize, but I don't judge. Because judging itself is wrong, because you're going to negativity. That itself is a bad thing. You can sermonize for their own good. Why am I telling you all this? It's not that I am so great and what I believe is the truth. I feel it is good for you. I may be wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. But somewhere if you can pick up the positivity, it will be good for you. It's good for you. Because again, it comes from the scriptures. I believe in the scriptures. The scriptures we feel are direct from the divine. We say Vedas, who wrote the Vedas? Nobody. Came straight from divine. This is all there. So I'm not doubting it. It's up to you to accept or doubt it. When I used to roam the Himalayas long back, now I'm like in serenity, I go and meditate. I used to go all the pilgrimages, all the Vrindavan, Bhagavadan, Parikrama, everything. I used to go around, talk to anybody I used to meet, I start talking. If they attracted me to some extent, I used to go to supposed to be Aghoris, or they used to Smashan Ghat, they used to stay. I start talking to anybody. Okay, they were all questions at that time, intrigue. I knew the answers, but you still want to hear it. So I used to keep questioning them for a long time. I'll tell you, it's my favorite question, and ultimately I realized that there's no difference. It's a very abstract essence. What is the difference in Dvaita and Advaita? Okay, so you have saints like Madhavacharya, Vallabhacharya said duality. You're always different from the divine. Madhavacharya said there is unity in diversity, because like the sun and the sun rays, the sun is the sun, but the rays are the same in the quality as the sun, but they're still different. Adi Shankaracharya ji said it is non-duality, Advaita, which is you and the divine are not different. You're one. Okay. Now I kept saying, what's the difference? What is the truth? Actually, I will not be able to answer you what the truth is now, but I know what the truth is. Ultimately, they are internally, intrinsically all the same. Oh, it's all the same. It's according to your thought, your desire is what. They are all the same, and they are all self-comprehensive in their own way.
Life is itself a mystery.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to, how many times I asked this question to somebody, I just couldn't get the answer. Then I got it on my own, inside. A lot of things you can't get answers in words because this is spiritual language. It's only experience. Now I don't ask any question. I actually, sometimes I get questions, I ask, but usually I ask no question. I have no questions. I follow Sri Guruji Ravi Shankarji, Art of Living. So whenever I meet him, sometimes occasionally I ask a question or two, but usually I have no questions only. And you just enjoy the bliss of all the answers there from within. You get them. Even if you have a question, somehow you'll get the answer.
That's the power of divine. Thank you. Beautiful conversation this was. I enjoyed. Thank you.